Otilia Lovisa Lagerlof, born in 1858 till 1940. She was a Swedish author. She was the first female writer to win the Nobel Prize in Literature. She is best remembered for her children's book, The Wonderful Adventures of Nils. Her stories have been translated into many languages. Background of the Rat Trap. This story is set amidst the mines of Sweden, which are rich in iron ore. It is like a fairy tale, that is one which has a happy ending, depicting the victory of good over evil. The stories written by the author are based on the belief that the essential goodness in a human being can be awakened through understanding and love. The explanation of the rat trap. This is the story of a rat trap seller. The author says that he made them himself at odd moments from the material he got by begging in the stores or at the big farms. So, he used to collect junk from stores or big farms, and out of those wires that he would collect, he would make these rat traps at odd moments. Now, odd moments means that when he was free. This indicates that he was busy doing something else also. So now what is that something else? But even so, the business was not especially profitable. So he had to resort to begging and petty thievery to keep body and soul together. So here the author is telling us that selling those rat traps which he made was not enough for him to survive. So other than that, he had to resort to begging and thievery. So when he was not begging or when he was not busy robbing someone, he used to make these traps. Now over here, the author says to keep body and soul together. Body and soul together means so that his soul remains in his body. That is, in order to survive. Further she says, even so his clothes were in rags, his cheeks were sunken and hunger gleamed in his eyes. So this indicates that although he was doing so many things, he was busy selling those rat traps that he made, he was busy begging and he was busy robbing people, still the money that he collected, the things that he collected were meager for him. It was only enough to make him get some food in order to survive, and his condition was very dilapidated, very bad. Now, what is a vagabond? It is a person who wanders from place to place without a home or job. He didn't have a home, he didn't have a job, he didn't have a family, and so he was very lonely. Such sort of a person is a vagabond. So the author says that he would plod along the road and left to his own meditations. So he was always free and he was always having thoughts about something or the other. One day, he had a thought in his mind. The author says, one day this man had fallen into a line of thought which really seemed to him entertaining. He had naturally been thinking of his rat traps when suddenly he was struck by the idea that the whole world about him, nothing but a big rat trap. So now this person feels that as these traps he makes of wires for the rat to get trapped in it, similarly the world is also a big trap. Further, he feels that as we keep cheese and pork as a bait in the rat trap, and when the rat goes ahead in the trap and he goes towards the bait, he gets trapped in it. Similarly, he thought that the world is also a trap, and this thought that he had was entertaining for him. He was feeling happy when he thought this. He feels that similarly this world is a trap, and what is the bait in the world for people to get trapped in the world? He feels that the joys, riches, food, shelter and clothes that is attracting to the people, as soon as the people try to achieve those, as soon as the people try to get them, they also get trapped in this world and their life comes to an end. So the rat trap seller feels that as soon as you go towards these things, these are the bait for people, so the people get trapped and their life comes to an end. He had unwanted joy. Means unusual, something which is extraordinary. As no one had ever treated him kindly, no one had been very good to him, so this thought that everyone was trapped in this world gave him unbound happiness. Further, she says to think ill of it in this way. Now, what does this indicate? That he had a wicked mind, thinking that someone is suffering. He was happy thinking that people are trapped. Then we go on further. She says it became a cherished pastime of his during many dreary ploddings. Now, what is dreary ploddings? It is unhappy hard work. Whenever he had to do a lot of hard work and he was unhappy, so he would just feel happy by thinking that so many people who have been unkind to him, who he used to feel very harsh and very bad, they are trapped in this world. And by thinking this, he would feel happy. One evening, he was walking along the road and he saw a little grey cottage by the roadside. So he just thought of asking shelter for the night. So usually what happens whenever this man, he seeks shelter or he seeks help from anyone, he gets to see sour faces. Sour faces means that people react in a bad manner, they are unkind towards him and they do not provide him the shelter. But this was unusual. The author says instead of the sour faces which ordinarily met him, the owner, who was an old man without wife or child. So what does this mean? That the old man who was the owner of the cottage was also like this trap seller. He was also alone, he was lonely, he did not have any family. So he was happy to get someone to talk to in his loneliness. So he invited this stranger over. He was happy that he had some company to talk to. He served him porridge and he shared his tobacco roll also with him. After that, he took out a pack of cards and both of them played till they went to bed. Then further, the author says, the old man was as generous with his confidences as with his porridge and tobacco. Confidences here means that some secret, something which you keep confidential up to yourself, that also the cottage owner shared with this stranger. So what was this confidential secret that he shared? He told the guest that in his days of prosperity, he had been a crofter at the iron works and had worked on the land also. So he tells him that when he was young, when he was energetic, he used to work at the iron mill and also he used to work on the land, probably as a farmer. Now that he was no longer able to do the day labor, he was old, he could not do so much of physical hard work. So he says that his cow used to support him. He has a cow. He says that he sells the milk of the cow to a creamery and it gives him his money. Incredulous means that he must have been very dependable. The cottage owner felt like confiding his secret in him, so he must have felt that he is a good man. He showed him the money. He stood up, went to the window, took out the pouch in which the money was there. The pouch was hanging by the window and he showed him the 30 kroner money bills which he had received as a payment for selling the cow's milk to the creamery. Then he kept back the money and both of them left the cottage. Further, the author says, but half an hour later, the rat trap peddler stood again before the door. So, the rat trap peddler has returned back to the cottage. He did not try to get in, however. He knew that the door is locked, the cottage owner has gone. So, he just went up to the window where the pouch was hanging. He broke the pane, took out the pouch and took the money out of it and he just went away. He was very pleased at his smartness. So he was happy that he had outsmarted the cottage owner. He was happy that the cottage owner had confided in him, he has shared his secret with him and he has misused confidentiality which the cottage owner had with him. So this person is a trained robber. He knows that if he will walk along the highway, he can be caught. The cottage owner can raise an alarm and the police can come and they will find him. So what he thinks is, he thinks that it is not safe, it is dangerous for him to continue on the road, on the public highway. So he turns into the woods. Initially it is very comfortable for him. He keeps on walking in the woods and he tries to walk in a straight line as much as it is possible. But the woods are very dense. After some time it gets worse for him because it is a very big and confusing forest. He tries to walk in a straight line, but after some time he realizes that he has been walking along in the same area. He has been walking round and round because of the twists and turns in the forest. He suddenly recalls his thoughts that He has been fooled by the bait. He feels that the money that he has stolen, it was the bait, and as he has taken it, he is now trapped. The whole forest, with its trunk and branches, its thickets and fallen logs, closed in upon him like an impenetrable prison from which he could never escape. Rat Trap Seller felt that the forest is an impenetrable prison. Impenetrable means something from which you cannot escape ever. So he had this feeling that he has been imprisoned, he has been trapped, and he can never get out of it. After some time, when he gets tired, it is a December evening, this increased the danger and increased his gloom and despair. So when it is dark and it is dull, so obviously you feel more sad, lose your hope. Further, he was tired and he had that guilt in him that he had stolen the money. So all this collected, and what happened to him? He gave up on life. He gave up on any chances that he could escape out of the forest. And what happens next? He lies down on the ground. Tired to death, she says. Tired to death. He was so tired, he sank down on the ground and he was ready to die. He thought that he has no other way to escape out of this forest. But just as he laid his head on the ground, he heard a sound, a hard, regular thumping. So now what is this sound that he heard? It just struck to his mind that as there is some sound, there could be people around. This sound was the sound of a hammer strike on the iron. There could be an iron mill around. Then he felt that these people could be there, and he summoned all his strength, got up and staggered in the direction of the sound. So he summoned all his strength. He was very tired. He was tired to death. But still, this sound gave him some courage. It gave him hope. And he tried to get up. He got up and staggered in the direction of the sound. Now, why did he stagger? He did not have the energy to walk comfortably, to work properly. Ramso Iron Mill, this is the same place where the crofter used to work in his youth. The author says these are closed down. So now when she is writing this story, the iron works are closed. About the time when she is writing, that time it used to be open. She describes the iron mill. She says it was a large plant with smelter, rolling mill and forge. Then she says that in the summertime, there was a canal along with the mill, and that used to be used to transport the goods that they used to produce. The lake gets frozen, and so the road near the mill used to be used to transport the material like coal and big charcoal crates. It was Christmas time. Master Smith is the person who is in charge of the mill. He was busy with his helpers. He was sitting near the furnace and he was waiting for the iron to melt. So she says there was a lot of sound around. Lot of work was going on in the mill. So there was a lot of sound different. There was a sound of nature. There was sound of the waterfall. There was sound of the wind. And further there were sounds made in the iron mill also. So it was very noisy. She says it was probably on account of all that noise that the blacksmith did not notice that a man had opened the gate and entered the forge until he stood close up to the furnace. Further, she says it was nothing unusual for poor vagabonds without any better shelter for the night to be attracted to the forge by the glow of light which escaped through the sooty panes and to come in to warm themselves in front of the fire. She says it was not unusual. So the people who used to work in the mill, they were used to that some strangers like this trap seller, they used to come into the mill in the night for shelter. So the mill is open, the people are working in the mill even at night time. But strangers, they did not get any shelter anywhere. They are vagabonds, they are homeless, they do not have any family. So they used to turn up into the mill for shelter during the night. Further, she says the blacksmiths glanced only casually and indifferently at the intruder. Now, why he glanced casually and indifferently at the intruder? Because he was used to such intruders and strangers coming into the mill. His look was also similar to the other strangers, the other intruders that used to come into the mill. So it was nothing very unusual for the blacksmith, so he did not pay any much attention to him. The vagabond asked permission from the master smith to stay there for some time, and the master smith simply nodded his head without saying anything, without honoring him with a single word. Now, honoring him with a single word here means that he did not speak anything, he did not welcome him, he did not shun him, he just kept quiet and consented by giving a nod of his head. So the iron master, who is the owner of the iron mill, he was a very prominent man, he was very ambitious. He wanted to ship out good iron into the market. So he used to inspect the iron mill very often. He comes over into the mill, he looks at the stranger. He finds it very unusual that a man is lying down very close to the furnace. He was so close to the furnace that steam was coming out of his rags. So you can imagine that as it was a cold night, his clothes had gone damp, and further now he was lying so close to the furnace that steam was coming out of his clothes. So the iron master went close to this ragamuffin. Now what is ragamuffin? Ragamuffin means a person who looks very roughed up. He is in a very weather-beaten kind of a condition. The author says the iron master did not follow the example of the blacksmith. He did not ignore this stranger. He walked close up to him, looked him over very carefully. He removed his hat to get a better view of his face. Now he wanted to look closely at the stranger. So he removed the hat which he had kept on his face. He says, "But of course it is you, Nils Olof." The iron master has mistaken the stranger to be Nils Olof. Now perhaps this is an old acquaintance of his, and he thinks that he is an old comrade. The rat trap seller was not very amazed. He knew that he was not Nils Olof. So what the trap seller felt was that he just wanted to take rest. He was comfortable in the iron mill, and so he wanted to stay there for some more time. So now what the thought is going on in the mind of the trap seller? This mistake that has been committed by the iron master, he should not unveil the truth to him. He thought that he should not tell him that he is not Nils Olof, because perhaps thinking that he is an old acquaintance, he may give him some money. So again, his thought, you can see his thought process. He is trying to be oversmart. So that's why he replies, "Yes, God knows things have gone downhill with me." So he accepts, he agrees to the iron master that he is Nils Olof, and further he says that things have gone downhill with him. So earlier he says he was not like this, and now he is not in such a good condition. Perhaps they were old army comrades. They used to work in the army together. The iron master says, "You should not have resigned from the regiment." Further he says that was the mistake. If only I had still been in the service at the time, it never would have happened. So he says that if I was there in the army when you resigned, I would not have let you do that. Further he says, "Well, now, of course, you will come home with me." So he gives him an invitation to accompany him to his house. Now the author says, to go along up to the manor house and be received by the owner like an old regimental comrade. That, however, did not please the tramp. Perhaps he was thinking that he would offer him some money. But what had happened now? The iron master is telling him to come home with him. And now this thought is not very pleasing to this rat trap seller. He does not want to go with him to his house. Now why does not he want to go with him? He says, "No, I couldn't think of it." Looking quite alarmed. Now why is he looking alarmed? Because he has not expected this, that the iron master will invite him to his house. He had just thought that probably perhaps he would give him some money. He thought of the 30 kroner. To go up to the manor house would be like throwing himself voluntarily into the lion's den. Now he feels guilty. He had stolen money. He could be arrested by the police for that. And now if he will go to the iron master's home, perhaps he can come to know that he has done the crime. And he feels that it is very dangerous for him, as the lion's den is also dangerous. People avoid going there because they are scared of the lion. Similarly, he has a scare of the police. He can be caught very easily, and so he does not want to go with the iron master. The iron master assumed that he felt embarrassed because of his miserable clothing. Now the Iron Master has some different mind. He feels that the man is uncomfortable in accompanying him because he is not wearing proper clothes. He is not dressed up properly. He tells him that he should not feel very bad because his wife is no more. She is dead. His boys have gone abroad and he is just living with his oldest daughter. So this man is inviting the stranger, the trap seller, for Christmas. He wants him to come and share the Christmas feast with them. The trap seller refused bluntly and he just said that he was not accompanying the Iron Master to his house. He had sent his daughter apparently hoping that she would have better powers of persuasion than he himself. So she enters the iron mill with the valet. Now valet is a driver, a servant. He is accompanying her and he is holding a big fur coat. So he was taking rest, feeling comfortable. He had that feeling that he had sent the Iron Master back. As soon as the young girl caught sight of him, she went up and lifted his hat. Now this young girl, the daughter of the Iron Master, she saw this man and she went up to him and she removed his hat. As soon as she lifted his hat, he jumped up abruptly and seemed to be quite frightened. So he was taken aback. All of a sudden, someone had lifted his hat and he saw a girl in front of him and he felt quite frightened. She introduced herself. She said, "My name is Edla Wilmanson." And then she told him that she is the daughter of the Iron Master and she had asked permission from her father to bring him home. She said, "I am so sorry, Captain, that you are having such a hard time." Now she was very compassionate and sympathetic towards this man. She addresses him as Captain, thinking that he is an old colleague of her father. They used to work in the army together. And she says that she is very sad that he is facing such a tough time. She looked compassionately with her heavy eyes and she noticed that a man was afraid. The look in his eyes was of being afraid. She could find out that he is frightened because of something. Now she feels that either he has stolen something or else he has escaped from jail. His eyes gave the look of guilt. She is giving him an assurance that they will let him go once Christmas is over. They are just inviting him over for Christmas. Her way of talking to this stranger was so friendly that the rat trap peddler must have felt confidence in her. He felt confident of her. Once earlier when the Iron Master was inviting him, he had a feeling like going into the lion's den. But now when this girl is inviting him, he is feeling confident. So he says that he had never thought that she would have come to invite him. "I will come at once." He accepts the invitation. He accepted the fur coat that she offered him. He put it over his rags and followed the young lady out to the carriage. So he went to the home of the Iron Master. But while he was riding up to the manor house, he had evil forebodings. Now, evil forebodings means feeling that something bad was about to happen. Now, why did this person have evil forebodings? Because he was guilty. He had done something wrong. And further, another thing that he had done wrong was that he had tried to be oversmart with the Iron Master by accepting that he was an old army comrade. He was Nils Olof. So once you do such sort of things, you feel guilty, and because of that guilt, you have evil forebodings. You feel that something bad will happen with you. The next morning was Christmas Eve and the Iron Master was eager to meet his long lost friend. So the Iron Master is having a talk with his daughter. He is feeling very concerned for this old army comrade that he has met. He says that we must give him good food and then we must see that he gets to do something better than selling these rat traps. The girl says that it is very strange that things have gone downhill with him as so bad. When she had a look at him last night, he did not look to be an educated man. She did not feel that he could be a person who has served in the army. He did not have that look of being a captain. Her father said that keep patience. Once he gets clean and dresses up, you will see something different. So he tells his daughter that he is the same person, he is an army captain, and once he gets out of his tramp clothes, once he is dressed up in a better way, you will see that he is a different man. Just then the door opened and the stranger entered. He was clean, well dressed up. So now his face was very clear. And what the ironmaster finds out is that he had been mistaken. He says, "What does this mean?" The stranger made no attempt to dissimulate. So now the trap seller did not try to disguise. He saw that at once the splendor had come to an end. The splendor is the good time that he was having. So instantly the trap seller accepts. He also did not want to accompany the ironmaster to his house, and he had been very hesitant and he had refused also. And now also he says that nothing wrong has happened. He can just put on his old clothes again and leave their house. Now the ironmaster hesitated. He said that you were not quite honest either, because this person, he had acted smart. He could have told him at that time only that he is not the person whom the ironmaster is mistaking him to be. So he says that he should call up the sheriff. The sheriff is the police, and the sheriff would like to have something to say in that matter. He is trying to threaten the man that now he will call up the police. The trap seller took a step forward and struck the table with his fist. Now he is feeling very angry, and he is telling to the ironmaster, this whole world is nothing but a big trap. He started sharing his thoughts, his philosophy with the ironmaster. So the ironmaster began to laugh. He could feel that the person is guilty. He says, okay, fine. You don't want me to call the police. We will let you go as it is Christmas Eve. Get out of here as fast as you can. So he just tells this stranger to go out of their house. Now what happens next is, his daughter was very happy at the thought that the stranger would be there for Christmas. So she did not let the stranger go. She had been happy thinking that this man who seemed very hungry, she would make him feel cheerful, Christmassy and home-like. So the ironmaster gave in to his daughter's request, and she kept the old man back at home. She says that always he is afraid of being arrested and cross-examined. I should like to have him enjoy a day of peace with us here, just one in the whole year. She persuades her father to let this man stay with them for Christmas. So initially the ironmaster was very reluctant, because as this man was a stranger, he did not want to keep him at home. But finally he gave in to his daughter's request. She says that we have promised him Christmas cheer, and so we should not let this stranger leave our home as it is Christmas Eve. She told him, sit down and eat. So she took him to the dining table. She made him sit down and served him food. So the trap seller was very amazed. He sat down, ate food. Time to time he gave a look to this girl. He looked at this girl. He was feeling it very strange, the kindness and the generosity which this girl was showing towards him. He was thinking, why has she done it? What could the crazy idea be? Then further the author tells us, the Christmas Eve passed just as it always had. The stranger did not cause any trouble because he did nothing but sleep. So the entire day, this man just ate food and he slept. In the evening again, he woke up and he saw the Christmas tree. It was lighted. He blinked as though the candlelight hurt him. He took the presents which were kept there for him, and he said thank you and good night, and again went off to sleep. After that, when he went to the young girl to say thank you to her, she told him that her father had gifted him the suit that he had worn in the morning, and it was a Christmas present from him for him, and he did not have to return it back. Further, she welcomes him again for the next Christmas also. So then what is the reaction of the trap seller? He did not answer anything to this. He only stared at the young girl in boundless amazement. So this trap seller is very amazed at so much of kindness and generosity as this girl is showing towards him. He finds it very amazing, very surprising. The next day is Christmas Day. The ironmaster and his daughter, they wake up in the morning and they go to the church for Christmas service. At the church, they come to know that the crofter has been robbed by a rat trap seller. And that rat trap seller is the same person who is their guest for Christmas, the stranger whom the girl has kept. The author says the young girl sat and hung her head even more dejectedly. Now she is feeling very bad that the guest whom she had kept at home for Christmas is a thief. So her father, he tells her, yes, that was a fine fellow you let into the house. I only wonder how many silver spoons are left in the cupboard by this time. So he is being sarcastic towards his daughter. He had told the stranger to leave, but she had insisted and kept him at home. So they reach their home as fast as they can, and the ironmaster asks the servant that where is the stranger, where is our guest for Christmas whom we have kept at home. So this servant, he tells them that he has left and he has not taken anything with himself. So the ironmaster is very amazed that he has not taken anything with him. Further, the valet tells him that he has left behind a little package as a Christmas gift. So the gift pack which this trap seller had left for the daughter of the ironmaster, it is not packed very well. Probably because the trap seller does not know how to do a good packing. The contents of the package are visible from outside only. Now once this girl, she opens the gift, she gives a cry of joy because she had not expected such sort of a reaction from the stranger. There is a small rat trap in the packing. Inside it there are 3 10 kroner notes. Now this is the same currency which this trap seller had stolen from the cottage, from the old crofter. Along with the currency there is a small note for the girl. Now in this note, the stranger, the trap seller has written, although he is not a captain, but this girl has treated him as one. She has treated him with so much of kindness and generosity that his behavior has changed. He has not at all remained wicked, but he is also behaving like a captain. He wants her to return this money to the crofter, and he tells her that her good gesture has converted him into a captain. Then he says the rat trap is a Christmas present from a rat who would have been caught in this world's trap if he had not been raised to captain, because in that way he got power to clear himself. So what he tells her is that although he was a rat and he was trapped because of doing that theft, and he would not have got the strength to come out of it, to return the money, had the girl not raised him to a captain, because her kindness and generosity had given him the power to behave in a better way, to clear up his bad deeds that he had done. So now this girl has given him that power that he has been able to come out of the trap. Summary of the rat trap. The author gives the message that essential goodness in a human being can be awakened through sympathy, kindness and love. This story is set in the iron ores of Sweden, where a poor old homeless man sells rat traps made by him out of the old wires that he collects from different places. As this does not provide enough means of survival, he resorts to begging and thievery. Due to his loneliness, he becomes philosophical and in his thoughts realizes that the world is similar to the rat traps he sells. The worldly joys and pleasures, the riches, shelter and food are bait, and any person who reaches for them gets trapped. This thought was pleasing to his wicked mind, and as he thought of the people who were unkind to him as being trapped. One evening he stood at a cottage on the roadside asking for shelter, and instead of unkindness, the man at the cottage was warm and kind. He gave the trap seller porridge, tobacco, and even played cards with him. The next morning he told him that he sold cow's milk at the creamery, which fetched him money. The trap seller and the cottage owner left, but soon the trap seller returned to the cottage and stole the money. He was happy at his over smartness. He avoided the highway because he feared being caught, and so diverted into the forest. He got lost in it and kept on walking in the same part of the forest. Soon he realized that the money was bait for him, and as he had taken it, he was trapped and his death had come. Just as he lay down, he heard thumping sound from a nearby iron mill. He took shelter there and was resting when the ironmaster arrived. As the trap seller was mistaken to be an army colleague, the ironmaster and his daughter took him home for Christmas feast. Once the ironmaster realized his mistake, he threatened to hand over the trap seller to the police, but the trap seller pleaded that he had hesitated and refused the invitation and had only given in to his daughter's request. He shared his thoughts with the ironmaster that the world was a trap and that one day, when he touched the bait, even he would get trapped in it like him. The ironmaster asked him to leave, But his daughter intervened and insisted on keeping him at home for Christmas, as she wanted to make him feel homelike and serve him good food. The trap seller ate food and slept the whole day and got Christmas gifts in the evening. He looked intently at the girl in surprise when she invited him over for the next Christmas feast also. The next day was Christmas. The ironmaster and his daughter went to the church for service as their guest was still asleep. There they came to know that their guest was a thief who had stolen money from the crofter. They hurried back home. The ironmaster was wondering that what all the man must have stolen from their home. The servant told them that the man had left and took nothing with him. Instead, he had left a package for his daughter. The girl was overjoyed with his gesture. He gifted her a small rat trap in which the stolen money was kept. He asked her to return it to the crofter and thanked her for her kindness. He also wrote a note in which he said that he did not want her to feel embarrassed that her Christmas guest was a thief. The rat trap was a gift to her from a rat. It was due to her.